Thanks, Lewis. On BBC London, a special report focusing on the families affected by having a loved one in a gang. Good afternoon. With incidents of knife and gun crime increasing in London, we've been looking at gang violence and the effects it's having on people in the capital. Today, we're continuing that coverage, focusing on those who have to deal with the repercussions of having their loved one in a gang. Frankie McCamley has this special report.
He can't walk down the street in fear of his life. If somebody was to see him, they will stab him. They will kill him. His life is in danger.
This mother, whose identity we have to protect, is trying to speak out before it's too late for her son.
We always hear of the tragic situation. We never know what were the events leading up to that. And I feel that's really important.
She's seen so many other mothers in her position bury their children, lost to gang violence before their lives have even begun. She's asked multiple agencies and authorities for help.
But actually, what happened was I ended up being on a child protection plan. They said I wasn't capable or fit to look after my children, so I didn't actually get any help.
She says her son has had a target on his back after the council moved her family from one borough to another, crossing postcodes. For years, those involved in gangs risk being attacked for straying into the wrong area. Dubbed postcode or turf wars, the phrase has been linked to many stabbings in the capital, turning parts of London into no-go zones for some. She says he was also targeted by a honey trap.
Since the honey trap, the light that he used to have in him, because he's a lovely boy, totally gone. These are the things that you go through, but you go through alone, because no one don't care unless something happens. And then it's just a tragic incident, isn't it?
The family live in hiding and fear help won't come until it's too late. But for some, it is too late. I've spoken to so many parents who've lost their children at the hands of a knife. Many knew their sons and daughters were vulnerable, but the problem is they don't know where to turn to ask for help. And for those who do, they tell me the help simply isn't there. Mark has been supporting mothers trapped in this cycle. He's also trying to get to the root cause of the ongoing violence in the capital by talking to older gang members in the hope of saving younger lives.
Our aim is to get the older generation of these guys around the table to discuss ways forward for each individual gang. It starts with reality, bringing reality home that children are dying. If survival's your game, don't let killing be your legacy. You have to actually know that you're here to survive, and survive can't be death. Death is destruction.
He's calling for a change from the top.
It's just as simple as changing the policies and bringing people up to a stage where they will not starve and they have light in their house.
While the Mayor's office says nothing is more important than keeping Londoners safe, and it's committed to doing all it can to help reduce crime and violence in our city, some mothers still say they fear the worst each time their children leave the house. Frankie McCamley, BBC London.
Police have this morning revealed the body of a newborn baby found in Notting Hill yesterday afternoon was a boy. Detectives say they want to find the mother, who could require urgent medical attention. Matt Graveling reports.
It's now been almost 24 hours since officers were first called to this scene in Notting Hill to reports of a baby found inside of a bag outside of All Saints Church.
This was a black Marks and Spencer's bag with pictures of avocados on the side. The bag was discovered by a council refuse worker who immediately contacted the police. We can now confirm that the baby was a boy, and we believe that he was a newborn when he died.
Yesterday, this spot was covered by a police tent. It's been removed, and you can see that underneath was this black bin. Just over to my left-hand side is a CCTV camera. I'm sure the police are going to be reviewing the footage from that, but at the moment they say that their priority is finding the mother.
I want to appeal directly to you to come forward and receive help. My priority is to help you and make sure that you can receive medical assistance. You can do this at any time. by attending any hospital, police station, or by calling the emergency services.
The Deputy Church Warden of All Saints Church told me that yesterday the police searched inside of the church. She believes looking for the mother, but without success. As you can see, the cordon remains in place behind me, and the local community are asked to come forward if they've got any information whatsoever. Matt Graveling, BBC London.
E-bikes, which don't fold, will be banned on most public transport in London from next week. TfL's announcement comes after the ASLEF union said it was considering balloting members for strike action over e-bikes being allowed on the Underground. Our transport correspondent Tom Edwards reports.
At Rayners Lane tube station, an electric bike is on the platform and starts to smoke. As the riders run away, it bursts into flames. Smoke and debris spread right across the platform. It was this CCTV that led to Transport for London's tube and train e-bike ban. Drivers' unions had also threatened to take strike action over the issue. They highlighted the number of converted e-bikes now being taken onto TfL services. E-scooters are already banned after fires like this one on the District line. Folding e-bikes will still be allowed on the tube and train, but non-folding e-bikes will be banned from next Monday. Tom Edwards, BBC London.
Now, it was the largest British loss of life in maritime history, but you may not have even heard of it. In 1940, up to 7,000 people died when the RMS Lancastria was bombed by the Germans. Now, as the 85th anniversary approaches, a new piece of music has been written to remember those who died. Anna O'Neill has been to listen.
Lancastria, the title of a new piece of music to be heard in public for the first time later this week, being rehearsed at St Catherine Cree Church in the City of London. Each June, Lloyd's Choir sings for a special service remembering the sinking of the Lancastria, a cruise ship sent to rescue British nationals from France in 1940.
The first couple of years I was engaged and to conduct this service, and I read in the order of service about the ship. And like everyone I know who learns about this, I thought, why on earth have I not heard of this catastrophic, terrible tragedy before? So a conviction grew that I needed to commemorate it in some way.
Prime Minister Winston Churchill suppressed the news that up to 7,000 people had been killed, fearing for the morale of the nation. As things got worse for Britain, he says in his memoirs he simply forgot to tell the nation what had happened. But the tragedy had to be marked.
I believe that the government asked the chairman of Cunard to find an appropriate place for an annual remembrance. The chairman of Cunard went to the top of his office, looked west, saw the spires of St Catherine Cree, knocked on the door, and that is the reason.
It used to be held on a Sunday, and that was at a time when there were still survivors who regularly attended the service, and there were also people who came over from France.
The world premiere of Jacques Cohen's Lancastria will be performed later this week as part of the Lloyd Choir's spring concert. Anna O'Neill, BBC London.
Now the weather with Georgie Palmer.
Hello, I'm pleased to say there's plenty of sunshine and warmth in the forecast over the next few days until we get to Friday. More about that in just a moment, because for this afternoon and indeed tomorrow, plenty of sunshine on offer and feeling warm as well. We're left with some high-level cloud after this morning's mist and fog, but with light southwesterly winds, it really is going to feel very pleasant indeed, with highs today of 17. The average for this time of year actually nearer 11. High pressure then is still in charge. It is going to begin to slip southwards, but its influence still strong enough tonight to give us a fine and a dry night. Beneath the clearer spells, we could just see a touch of frost, and with light winds, some of that mist and fog tending to reform. So it is going to be chillier tonight compared to last night, lows of 3, which is going to mean quite a cold start tomorrow. But once again, the mist and fog dissipating through the morning, and with more of a southwesterly wind, more holes in the clouds. So plenty of sunshine. Highs again of 17. But then it's all changed. On Friday, we've got a cold front rattling through, so some heavy pulses of rain, the risk of hail and thunder. Behind that, a mixture of sunshine and showers, but also feeling much cooler, but milder and dry for the weekend.
That's all from me. We'll have reaction to the spring statement and what it means for London on our 6:30 programme this evening. Now though, it's back to the rest of the BBC News at 1. Bye-bye.